Hello and welcome to the Lost Star podcast. I'm Gar and I'm here with Paul.
How is things?
Things are fine. Things are them things is fine. Still locked up at home. Locked up at home.
I'm locked up as a home.
No, listen, the day I'm after. I wouldn't believe the day I had. It's fucking mad. There's no point in me telling anybody on it now because they're not going to hear it until Monday. So I'm going to tell everybody the type of day I had this Saturday.
But hang on, do you know what they won't be hearing?
What? Yeah.
You're a fan. You got a new fan.
I did get a new fan. And it's, I actually just, while I was waiting on you to connect, I took the old fan. I must take a picture actually. I took the old fan and I wanted to see if there's any way I could take it apart and like get some like sewing machine oil into the ball bearings or something, because I think that's all it was.
Yeah.
And, I made an absolute bollocks of it, and the whole thing disintegrated in my hand.
I don't know. Like I can't open up anything like technological. It falls apart. All the springs pop out.
Yeah. No, I took it apart fine, but when I went to part of the base of it was glued onto like a little PCB board, electronics board, and when I tried to, it was like it's only a light glue, but when I tried to lift it, a lot of the spokes and the fan started disintegrating, and then for some reason something popped off, and there's all these like tiny micro wires. Micro wires.
Look, like, I think we know that this podcast for now months now we've known that fan wanted to die.
It was dying to die, and I wouldn't mind. it arrived yesterday, and it couldn't have arrived at a better day because the night before I turned the computer on. I wanted to do some music stuff, and I turned the computer on, and the computer came up with a fan error in the BIOS.
Here.
So I was like, the second I turned it on, I was like, press F1 to continue. No fan detected. I was like, oh my god, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. And of course, fucking, there you go. There's a talking cat. Hello, talking cat.
You heard that, yeah?
Of course I did. The fucking good old talking cat. And the postman, blip blop, fucking in the post. Thank fuck for Lithuania, came through. They're a bit late, but that's not their fault. That's the postal service.
It came though, yeah.
It's here.
You forgive it because you got what you wanted eventually.
It's got what I wanted. Now, it's not a new fan. It's a reconditioned fan, which is fine. Now, to be honest with you, now that I know that this works, the second I fucking hear this starting to go, I'm going to order 2 of them to keep them spare because I'm now an expert in fan replacement. It was a nightmare. You want to see. I would have been taking photos of the job I had to do on the laptop, except I had a tutorial on YouTube on the phone. Like, by the time I was finished, the laptop, no word of a lie, was in 50 different pieces. Like the keyboard is out, the bezel is out. There's all these sheets of aluminium, and like this tiniest screws, like hair size screws.
I can't deal with that at all.
I got it all done now. I took it apart about 2 months ago. I took it apart to try and clean the fan, so I had a rough idea about what to expect. But I took it out. Took out the old one. I wouldn't mind. The old one is spinning like freely in my hand,
Of course it is, but when you put it into the thing. Well, look, just so people don't think that we're doing an episode on fans.
Yes.
We should tell them today's episode is.
One we talked about doing for ages, and it's 90's dance music, or 90's dance songs.
Yeah. Long time. This was one of the first drafts we ever did.
Yeah.
And we're finally getting around to it now. And I have to say, looking through the list, it's almost too good because we haven't picked anything too risky. No. But at the same time, though, this is version 1 where these songs have to be in because this is the best. We're picking the best of 90's dance.
Yeah.
Like there's no mistaking that, Jesus, this is unreal. So I wanted to play around a bit more with some kind of lesser well-known ones, but I was like, no, we'll do that the second volume.
Yeah, we have to just get the big ones done now, I think.
Big ones, yeah. But I don't have a problem with that because these are all whoppers.
Oh, yeah, they're all murderous. Every one of them is a fucking murderer. Like, well, let's kick straight into it then. Who is your first call?
My first one is, I think it's like one of the daddies of them all. It's Rhythm as a Dancer by Snap.
Yeah, big time.
Like, Jesus, that song still gives me mad chills. Just whatever way the intro strings or the riff or the synth line, whatever way it just comes in.
It's so good.
It reminds me as well as that. It always it's associated with happiness, obviously as well, because that is my 90's. Like I was like
go to
10 or 11.
Yeah.
in the disco, like 10p plastic cups of supermarket Coke and a Mars bar, and they're ready to dance for 5 hours straight. 5 hours straight dancing.
This song reminds me of a very different time than what you just described. This song reminds me of the Lebanon. Yep.
The Lebanon?
The Lebanon. Because...
When were you in the Lebanon? I'm going to open a can.
I'm drinking soda water like a sap. I'm not arse drinking tonight. It reminds me of the Lebanon because I had heard it on the radio, but I didn't know who it was or anything like that. And my uncle who was in the army, he went to the Lebanon and he came back with suitcases full of bootleg tapes. I mean, suitcases of all these, like, you know, the type of yokes people used to bring back from Turkey, like fucking the original cams that have like movies, VHS movies, and there'd be people walking in front of them and shit like that. These were like the audio versions. They were all like high speed dubbed onto the worst possible cassette quality, like them all black cassettes. You couldn't even see the tape inside them. And
I love
them. Yeah.
Although I don't like not being able to see the tape for some reason.
I know, you have to be able to see the tape. Yeah, you have to be able to see the tape. It's part of the tape experience. But he'd come back and they'd be like colour copied or even sometimes just photocopied with the covers and stuff. They all sounded like gack. But I always remember him bringing me back not me back. He brought back suitcases of tapes. And it was like some of them were for him, some of them were for me, and some of them was for whoever wanted to grab them. Because they were literally nothing. They were, I think what it was, they used to like 20 tapes for an Irish pound is what they used to cost.
Jesus. And these are singles?
No, these are all full albums.
Oh, right.
They had albums, but he had singles as well. Like, but that's the first time I heard Anthrax Sound of White Noise as well. He brought back a copy of that, a rip of that, because he knew I was into the metal, and he saw a metal one. Anthrax has to be a metal band. Yeah. And he brought that back.
Funnily enough, do you know who else was into the metal?
Who?
The rapper from this band. Yeah,
what was his name?
Turbo B.
That's right, Turbo B.
He's a heavy metal drummer from America.
Really?
So Rhythm is a Dancer, Snap. Snap are a German duo. I don't really care that much about the people behind this music in this instance because it was the Americans that I liked in this. So this was Tia Austin and Turbo B.
That's right, yeah.
Singing and thing. And he was a heavy metal drummer, turned soldier, then turned rapper. And they obviously had that song, The Power, too. Yeah. I think there's another singer, Penny Ford, but she left and she wasn't part of this album. So
I think she toured with her own version of Snap for ages as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. This song was Jesus. I can't stop linking just the Smokey video on. I think they did it at Kennedy's Air Base.
Yeah,
in America, and it's iconic, absolutely iconic,
huge song. Yeah.
And there's an album version I listened to. It doesn't sound as good, or it's a different version.
A longer one. I have this is the 7-inch edit. I have this on 7-inch, and then I have another version of it somewhere on 12, which is like the radio one. That's like 6 minutes long or something. It's the problem with loads of this kind of dance music is that it's very hard sometimes to find a definitive version of the song.
Yes, I did notice that, and I had to really hunt down the versions of some of these because we like. As well as that, the ones we heard are versions of songs that had been out 2 years, didn't do well. Yeah. They remixed it and re-released it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of cool thing. You can re-release a song if it's remixed by someone big.
Big time,
that's what we got a few times.
Yeah.
But this song is perfect. Absolutely from start to finish. Vocally perfect. The lyrics are all garbage. Also, weirdly, the lyrics, Rhythm is a Dancer. What do you think the next line is?
Rhythm is a dancer. It's a soul romancer. You can feel it in the air.
Nearly. It's a soul companion.
Ah, really?
But that's
Rhythm is a dancer.
Well, you got it closer than I did. I always thought it was Rhythm is a Dancer. It's a source of magic. That's what I thought it was. It's a source of magic. Not that at all.
I remember
it's a soul
something or I remember something like that.
And obviously there's that line in it, that dubious line, I'm as serious as cancer when I say Rhythm is a Dancer.
That's a great line though. That's a great fucking line.
Do you know what? That's actually from an Eric B. and Rakim song called I Ain't No Joke. He lifted it directly from that. Where I got a question, as serious as cancer. Who can keep the average dancer?
Yeah, and similar era, all right, yeah.
Yeah, that was 87. So yeah, it was 5 years before this.
Yeah.
This was never planned to be a single. This was just an album track.
Oh god.
Yeah, the DJs used to DJ, like the guys in Snap. I didn't write down their names. I straight up don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I care about the people I can hear. In this instance, I know that's crazy. They're the ones that wrote it. Actually, no, Tia Austin wrote loads of the music. And,
really?
they played it a lot while they were DJing, and they came to this one as well as The Power. We all know The Power.
Like
that song as well. Like, incredible. But your man Turbo B rejected it as well the first time he heard it. He was like, no,
really?
This is crap. But when it started getting good again, he rewrote the rap. He went, shit, okay, it's good, rewrite it. That's when he added that line, I'm as serious as cancer. It's grand. His rap is deadly, and it's kind of fucking, I don't know.
Was he an actual rapper? Like, I wonder if he put stuff out after. Like, I'm sure he did after that.
He did, yeah. He was in a band called, I think we were called the Fat Boys.
Was he in the Fat Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, all right. I have a lot of Fat Boys, so I didn't know Turbo B. I don't know much about the Fat Boys. I have a lot of their stuff, all right.
I think it was the Fat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
It sounds about right, time-wise as well.
And he went to Germany. I don't think it was anything to do with the military. He was in Germany. He went over there because that's where the dance scene was.
That's where the music was as well in the early 90s. Like, a lot of money there.
That's really all I have on that. This is more playlist based. We were going to do clips, but there's no point. You need to listen to the build ups in these songs and the intros. You need to hear. There's no point in playing clips of these like we did with the other ones as well. Listen to this playlist. You'll be hearing this before you hear the playlist because we're not releasing the playlist straight away yet. And some sneaky people reading them go, yeah, right, I get the idea. I'm not listening to that podcast.
Yeah, there's people doing that, and it's kind of defeats the purpose because we talked about this in the radio show because it's the idea of the podcast is the journey and us talking about the music. It's not just the playlist.
Yeah.
Like, listen, we could pump out 40 playlists a week if that's what people want. If people don't want podcasts and they just want playlists, look no further. Like, let's be honest. Yeah. Look no further. It doesn't matter what songs about, I don't know, dicks on fire, grand. You can have 2 of them this week. You know what I mean? Well, no problem. Songs about washing your dog, no problem. Full playlists, all day. But this is a fucking podcast. Let's do podcasts. And there's loads of people. If you look at a song on the playlist and go, I don't like that song, you could love the story behind it. Exactly.
Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason that we should explain that we're not releasing them straight away.
Yeah.
We want people to listen to it and kind of not know what song is coming next or be interested in it rather than make a snap judgment. Yeah. A snap judgment. Who's your next one? Or who's your first one?
My first one is it's Hathaway with What Is Love.
Yeah. This is a ginormous banger.
It is. It's huge. It's a mega banger. Huge. This came out in 1993. A lot of my stuff seems to be kind of 92 to 94.
Same.
Yeah.
92 to 95. I think of one or two that are outside that. But that's the golden age of dance.
Yeah, big time. So Hathaway's real name is Nestor Alexander Hathaway. He was born in Trinidad and Tobago and moved to Germany.
I thought he was Dutch.
No, he lives in Austria now. Austria. Now, here's what's weird. Born in Trinidad and Tobago, moved to Germany when he was young, and at the age of, I think he was like 9 or 10, he moved to America. And I think that's where he got interested in music and stuff like that. And he got a doctorate in philosophy over there and ended up coming back to Germany.
Jesus, he could have been in our side jobs.
Yeah, he had to get a bunch of them. Wow, there's one or two side. It's actually a side job popping up now in another boy. That's very fucking weird. He put out a shit ton of fucking albums, and he actually had a bunch of singles that done real well before and after this, and then he just kind of, as what happens to everybody from the early 90s, 99% of the acts from the early 90s is just going to disappear into obscurity. This song was fucking huge. It was so big. This is one of those. I kind of have, like, the podcast is 90s dance, but you've got one or two in there that I consider to be, they're absolute bangers and they were famous, but they were famous in different scenes. This is one of the songs that was famous in every scene. This is like, your ma was singing it. That cat in the background singing it right now. You know what I mean? The cat
is singing it, yeah. I don't know how you tell him to, I don't even know how you tell him to stop.
It doesn't matter, let him sing.
He's a cat.
Let him sing. Let him have a voice, man. And I love that cat. I love that cat. So He made a statement. This is actually very weird. He made a statement in 2011 saying that, like, I'm still touring, you know, but I decided to concentrate on like a different part of the world that needed my music. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I'm concentrating on like the East. And so the interviewer was like, what do you mean the East? And he's like, oh, you know, like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Siberia, places like that. That's where I'm doing all my gigs now. So if you want to see...
I didn't realize there was a giant market there.
So if you want to see Hathaway now, you need to go to fucking Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan or Siberia. Fucking Siberia, where there are tigers that kill people and jails. Just gulags and tigers. And train side towns where models are stolen. I watched a documentary on that, which is fucking mental. The Russian fashion agencies hop on the Trans-Siberian Express, right?
Yeah.
And it's fucking batshit mad. They hop on the Trans-Siberian Express and they take it the full way. And every town they get out, they have like 1 or 2 of these trips that they do a year, and they let it be known all across fucking like Russia and the Associated States that they're going to be in this town at this time on this day. And all the local girls, like literally,
you told me about this.
You could be like 11, 12, 13, it doesn't matter, right? Who like are considered to be the best looking girls in the town, or like the collection of huts that they live in. They all go to this fucking wherever the train stops.
That's a disparaging comment about Siberia.
Right? But you want to see some of these places, man. Like, we're talking full gold rush fucking like Wild West towns, right? And so they just stand there and wait there, and these fucking like Russian baddies basically get off the train, and they like, yo, come with me, and they get on the train and they bring them off to Moscow, and they fucking whatever, feed them or starve them and wash them and shave them, and then send them off to fucking London, where they get picked to be like 1 out of 1,000 might become, you know, a model or whatever the fuck. Anyway,
I'm terrified to ask what happens to the rest of them, so let's move on.
They just go home. No, they just go home. They're sent home. And I think they help the girls from like the next year, or the year after, or whatever the fuck it is. I mean, they've got another shot. It's a bit like The Voice or something. They get another shot next year if they want, you know.
I was like you at one time. It was last year.
Last year, yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where Hathaway is playing now, in those fucking fishing villages.
Jesus. And all. Yeah. That's mad.
Yeah.
Where am I? Kazakhstan.
Exactly. Kazakhstan, put your hands in the air. Nobody understands them. Just sitting there, sharpening their fucking hooks, their eel hooks or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what they eat there. He done a song with, I can't do it. He done a song in 2008 called I Love the 90's with someone else who's going to pop up on this playlist. I don't want to give it away.
Oh, God.
It's called I Love the 90's. He released in 2008.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I'm massive fan of loads of music in the 90's, but I don't think it's cool like the 80's.
No.
Maybe some people don't think the 80's is cool, but A, they're wrong, and B, I've sold it so hard now that I love the 80's. But something about 90's, it was a bit cheesier and tackier or something. And even though the music was great, it doesn't stand the test of time as far as some of these that we picked do.
Yeah. 90s stuff, I always said, feels cultureless. Like, it has no merit.
It was a lot of it was emotionless. When you bring in that much electronic, you can be open to fads and
big time. It was also the beginning of like the weaponized fads. Like, there was stuff in the 80's that was like, you know, kind of bullshit throwaway music, like plenty
like Bucks
of it.
Fizz and stuff. Yeah.
But they were still real acts that played gigs, and you know.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, this is when you started having collectives of people making music, like sort of studio bangers, and it didn't matter if it was a one-hit wonder and stuff like that. Like, at least the one-hit wonders from the 80's, they actually tried to have albums and careers.
They tried to have it.
A lot of this stuff is just people thrown together, and that's kind of a little bit soulless. Yeah.
There's one coming up that has a mad fucking story that is the like epitome of that later on. Anyway, that was Hathaway with What Is Love. We both opened up a bangers there. So who's your next one?
This is possibly behind Smells Like Teen Spirit, my favourite song of the 90's. Mm-hmm. Like, as in, I think is the best, and it's No Good Start to Dance by The Prodigy from 9. Like, this is another one of those, they definitely weren't flash in the pan. They were here to stay.
Yes.
The album before this, even.
Yeah.
And the songs even before that album.
Yeah.
This is from, Music for the Jilted Generation album. Liam Howlett is not a fan of this song.
Really?
Yeah, he said he's not a fan of the sample that he used, which is Kelly Charles, "You're No Good for Me." I listened to that actually. It's 87. You're no good for me. It's just like a regular pop song from the 80s. That's it. He said that it's too poppy and the lyrics are too kind of cheesy. But at the same time, I thought that was the idea because the video is so dark and like revolutionary, and it's underground, and they're smashing like lumps, hammers into or plasterboard or whatever like that, and Flint's dancing in a straitjacket. Now it's mad, it's brilliant, and I thought that was sort of a piss take of the pop songs. And then Liam Howlett came out and said, "No, it is going to piss take it." And we're like, "Well, make up your fucking mind then." Yeah, you're parodying them with an amazing song. He's too cool for school is his problem, Liam Howlett.
He is a bit too cool, isn't he?
He's great, though.
Remember he had one of them confrontational haircuts for a while. Remember that? Where it was like real short at the front and long at the back. Not a mullet now.
That was around this time, I think.
Was
94,
it?
94, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of them weird haircuts, and it was kind of had a lovely mad slant to it, like an action figure. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, it was cool. Look, he's fucking moody cunt, but he's brilliant. He's like he could be in Massive Attack. He has that moodiness and the talent. But this is one of those songs and eras and bands and albums that bridge the gap between rockers and ravers that we have to talk about. It's cliche as fuck, pillheads and people who drink Snakeboy. But it was, though.
This is the first one I remember, the first crossover album.
Yeah, it is. Well,
from my generation.
The first proper crossover, but they were, like, from the early 90s, rockers were into rave because there was people that loved drugs no matter what. Now, I'm not going to pretend I did drugs. I just didn't. They weren't not my thing. But Jesus, when I found a drink, I went at it hard. And I had 45 pints and can't take the shirt off my back, bastards. But look, drink was my thing, always my thing. When I first found it, I was like, but this was what happened to mad rockers listening to Metallica who also loved doing pills, because that was a big thing in the 80s and 90s, late 80s and early 90s. So that's where it was a crossover. And that's why Prodigy was one of them songs that had No Good Start to Dance and Outer Space and loads of those songs that had everyone on the floor. Like every single person on the floor.
These songs, everything on Music for the Digital Generation is almost a composite of every other type of music ever made. That's why I think that's why it appealed to everybody. Like, I had mates who were like into kind of jangly indie shit, you know, and they loved this album. And I had mates who were in like the heaviest of fucking rock and metal, and they loved this album.
It's got jungle on it. It's got bits of trance strings and stuff on it. You're right. It's just an absolute melting pot at the time. That's why that is one of those landmark albums.
Big time.
That stands out like a... When 1994 hit and they released that album, a big fucking flag went down into the earth, and they said Prodigy, Music for a Digital Generation. You can still see it now from space or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what it is. That is a landmark, timeless pinpoint of music at the time. The same way, I don't know, like I said, Smells Like Teen Spirit was for grunge and with a bit of punk in it as well. Like,
exactly.
Every single aspect of this song, every single layer is perfect. If the more you listen to it, it's absolutely perfect. Like
there's nothing wasted.
Jesus Christ, when it breaks down to the stop.
I blew a speaker up playing this song in work once. Yeah, because I have an original pressing of this on vinyl, and it was mastered real hot. So like. Actually, I have a version of it that doesn't really sound great. No, my one is just mad loud, mad hot, just maxed out, right? Like, it sounds okay, but like it's just...
I was a bit disappointed with the vinyl of the record.
I'm sure there's like a fucking remastered collector's version of some description, but fucking the original one that I have is just it's too loud and everything is real jarring in it.
It's very fucking harsh compression wise, I think.
Yeah,
but look. The CD that makes up for it, it's grand, and the video for it, and this whole album and this whole era, this is super important to everything I listen to and even play musically, or just my approach to certain things. I'll never have the energy and the focus to write drums and bits like Liam Howlett does, where he mixes them up every time. He goes over them songs and just makes every part of it memorable. I don't know if I have the fucking energy to do that, but he does, and that's why No Good Start to Dance is as good as it is. So who is your number 2?
My number 2 is cheesy, but it's fucking, I think it's important as well. It's Dr. Alban with It's My Life.
I don't know how I feel about this song. I never did.
Me too.
Sometimes I'm like going around the gaff going, it's my life. And then other times I hear it, I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I think I like it.
We have a
podcast down to do at some stage of songs you love some days and hate other days.
Yep. Very
and
much
that's
so.
one for me.
Definitely.
It's mad. Because some days I'm like, fucking, it's mad. Banger. And other times I'm like, ugh. I don't get it.
This came out in 1992.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, 1992. He done the song with Hathaway, I Love the 90's, a couple of years ago. It was him.
I don't know why I didn't immediately guess it was him.
Yeah, so he was born Alban Uzoma Nwapa was his name. He was born in Nigeria. And he moved to Sweden at the age of 23 to study dentistry.
Really?
Yeah. So to finance himself in dentistry school, he started DJing in the local clubs and stuff, and he made a little bit of a name for himself. And then he started kind of getting into the music, kind of singing and producing music and getting hired to kind of sing and fucking guest on other people's tracks and stuff. And he made so much money, he was actually able to open his own dentistry practice.
So you're trying to say that he swapped plaque for plaques?
Very much. Very much. So... Yeah, he made enough money to open his own dentistry.
Bangers.
Yeah, exactly. He really sank his teeth into it. Yeah. Hence his name as Dr. Alban, because he is actually a doctor.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's class. I didn't know that.
He's an actual doctor. So while he was making all these songs, he, believe it or not, It's My Life, it might have been his biggest song, but he was plenty famous before that. He had a couple of songs off his debut album that done real well, like sold millions. Really? Yeah. He had a single called Hello Africa and a song called No Coke, which is weird. I don't know. Yeah.
Just look at Hello Africa.
Exactly. There's no Coke. There's no Coke in here. There's no Coke. I assume that's the way it goes.
Maybe it was he was pissed off. Although, he does coke, but he doesn't rub in his teeth. Only the nose keeps them teeth.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's about like cocaine or Coca-Cola. I have to listen to the song. I need to find out.
Do you know what it is? He probably drinks whiskey straight.
Probably. Well, he is a dentist. Any dentist will tell you not to be drinking coke. Maybe that's what the song is.
Maybe that's the whole song.
Maybe that's the song. Brush your teeth. Drink no coke. No coke. Brush your teeth. I bet you. I'm going to listen to that straight after this, actually.
I can't wait to listen to that.
I'm going to have a listen to this song. I want to know. I hope it's about not drinking coke.
Oh, God.
Fingers crossed.
That's class.
He sold a fuck ton of... Hello Africa is kind of the one... He's obviously remembered for It's My Life, but Hello Africa was a huge song.
Yeah.
His second album had It's My Life in it, right? Now, It's My Life was like a little club banger, right? It was doing real well. But I only remembered this... when I read it, I went, oh, fuck, yeah, now I remember. This song got famous off a Tampax commercial.
That's right.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that fucking ad. And it was from that ad that people start going like, what's that song? I heard that song once on the radio, and I got a mad resurgence. Then all of a sudden, bam, it was fucking huge. It was fucking huge. It was number 1 in a million countries. That song, right? It's My Life. This is fucking mad when I looked it up. There are 10 composers on that song.
Really?
And there are 12 vocalists.
What?
Yep.
I know there's like a lot of backing vocals and stuff, but
12 different vocalists and 10 composers. I went into the fucking meat of that song just because I wanted to see what was involved in it. 10 composers, 12 vocalists. In May of this year, he still lives in Sweden, and he released a song called Hello, I don't know, Sverige, whatever the name of a town or a city is, which is where he lives. And the song was to encourage people to socially distance during the COVID-19 outbreak. So he released that in May, just gone. Like he remade Hello Africa into Hello Sverige or whatever it's called. to encourage the population of Sweden.
Did you change no coke to no touching?
No COVID, my friend. Hello, Sverige. I don't even know that's how you pronounce it. I hope so. I hope it's probably Sverige.
It's mad because Sweden were the ones to go. No,
nah,
we're all right with the old social distance. Well, no, they did it a bit. Like,
tiny bit, yeah.
Like,
tiny bit. Just let them die. Let the old people and the young people die. Off you go. That's Dr. Alban with It's My Life in 1930. I do love that song. But like you said, I think that could have been a case of it was just annoying enough that when I was younger and it was out, I was sick of it. So now when I do hear it, I get a little nostalgic buzz.
No, like I said, there's times I do listen to it and go, oh, yeah.
Like it's just
from
1992. I mean, fucking, I was what 11.
Yeah, we're so old.
So let's say like up until the age of like 12 odd, that song was just banging through every radio station in the world, everywhere you went, because nobody had anything but the radio back then. You had CDs, but you had about 4 CDs. Do you know what I mean?
They were mad there, like, and the players were mad there, and like you'd have to share them with someone else. Stop.
Exactly. I knew a fella once who he didn't know. He bought his first ever CD and he brought it home and he put it on the turntable and put the needle on it.
Oh dear!
Put the needle on and press play, and he called me over because he knew I had a shitty little mono like Sanyo CD player, and he was like, "You have a CD player? How do you work it?" And I went over to his house. I was like, "You don't have a CD player?" He goes, "Yeah, but I have that." I'm like, "Mate, like, what the fuck?
No.
What the fuck? What, do you watch films by just holding the fucking tape? Do you know what I mean? What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? Like, would you just look into the little window? You know, like, what was that? What was the Voizer things from the 80s that you look through and press the button? The Voizer wheel things.
Did he buy like a ticket to his own gaff to watch like VHS?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's a film on tonight.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the film on my house? RTE one. Are you coming? No, I have RTE one as well, man. It's great. Just watch it at home, like. Oh, but it's on in my house. Yeah, I know, but everyone has RTE one, like.
How are RTE going to put a projector in my house?
Exactly. They're coming to my house tonight. Actually, that fella was a bit like that, actually. That was Dr. Alban with It's My Life. Who is your next one?
My next one is a mental song that I don't know how it happened. So I'm going to give you the ingredients to this before I tell you what it is. It has a megastar on vocals. Mm-hmm. And it has two guys from an industrial powerhouse side project. And then on top of that, it's remixed by one of Holland's biggest DJs. So what you have is Silence by Delirium featuring Sarah McLachlan. The one I've picked is actually the Fade Sanctuary remix from 99, because that's the first dance version I heard. I know Tiesto remixed it the next year, and his version is fucking deadly, especially his really long Sundown version or something like that. It's 11 minutes long. It really treats it well. So, but you know this song? You know this one?
I listened to it earlier on, and it definitely rings a bell. I definitely know it, but I don't know it as intimately as I do everything else on this list. Yeah. This would be the outlier for me. I do know it, and when I listened to it earlier, I was like, that's real good, and I know it. The reason I think I remember it, because this used to, if I remember correctly, this is the type of song where they used to play in like clubs that weren't actually clubs. So you go to a gig, and after the gig, they like kick the band out and like lock the doors. Like Eamon Doran's used to be able to stay there at like 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And this is the type of music they play. So I think that's how I remember it.
Well, it's just one of those things that like it shouldn't have really been, because the original of this song is a kind of ambient version of it. A version of this song is the original is an ambient one. It's done by Delirium, who are an electronic kind of ambient electronic band from Canada, and it's the side project of Frontline Assembly, who were formed by Bill Lieb, I think, after he left Skinny Puppy.
Oh,
so
weird.
So Frontline Assembly are the kind of really important, influential industrial band, or EDM, I think it is, like whatever, EDM. So. Yeah, not EDM. Actually, this is weirdly EDM now. But yeah, that lad actually composed the soundtrack to Quake 3 Arena.
Oh, really?
And then Quake the Team Arena, that version of it was composed by the expansion pack was composed by Frontline Assembly. That's a side project anyway.
Because the first Quake was Trent Reznor, wasn't it? It was Nine Inch Nails.
No, it was Quake 2.
Was it Quake 2? It was Nine Inch Nails.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he did the first one.
I think he done the first one. I think he done the first one as
well.
Maybe
you're right. Maybe you're right. Actually, yeah.
I think he did. I remember having it from the story of the stuff me ma brought home, and there was a big sticker on it. Music by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah. So they were friends with a singer called Sarah McLachlan, who now is monstrously big, like massive. She's fucking like Fiona
Canadian,
Apple.
Isn't she?
Yeah, Canadian. They're all Canadian. Yeah. So they knew each other from Canada and stuff like that.
Okay.
But at the time, there's no way she was near as big as she was. It all broke in the same year. So the year that she did this was 97. But it was 99 when it came out. No, this is 90. It's around 99. Look, it's very hard to know because there's so many versions.
So many remixes.
Yeah, so she did this with them, the regular like kind of ambient version.
Yeah.
In 97. That's what it was. So then she had a ginormous album. Sorry, let's say this as well. This is Delirium's 9th album.
Fuck.
Before they had a big hit. They've been going since like 88.
Jesus.
88. So this, but here's the thing, right? Here's the problem. It had been Delirium Silence, but it had been remixed. So I bought the single, and it was. Remember, they used to have two versions of the single, CD1 and
That's
CD2.
Right. Yeah, remember that? Robbing bastards.
Yeah, absolutely. The CD2 would have all the remixes on it.
Yeah, about 8 of them.
The first one may or may not have the remix on it.
Yeah, it's usually the second song.
Yeah. Yeah, so I bought the second one and I had that. So I went, God, that's so good. I'm buying the album. So I went and I bought their album Karma, but not knowing that they're not a dance band at all. And they're not at all like that. So I got this home and I started sticking it on, and it was like Enigma, like Gregorian chants completely. And that version is like, I'm like, lads,
fuck's this?
Lads. Now, it turns out the more I listened to it, because back then you actually gave a time when you put fucking...
You did, 15, You sat
15, there. 15 quid into it. And I do like it, but it was mad because she went on to have the album Surfacing, I think which is... Jesus, that has the song In the Arms of an Angel and all that stuff on it. And I actually really liked that album because that made me go out and buy her album.
Yeah.
As well as that, it was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. I think I got the album because I was working in Golden Disc. I think I got the album for like £2 because it was in
Savage.
It was in one of those damaged bins that used to exist.
Love them.
Yeah,
love
that absolutely. So look, in short, she's a megastar doing a song with two well-known people from the industrial thing that was remixed by Fade and then Tiesto. It's a mental mad song that this came out, and it is, to me, the build up and the vocal line and the lyrics and all. I just think it stands out. Delirium Silence is one of those things that when it comes on in the club, people go, "Oh fuck, man!" Like there's classics that everyone goes, "Yeah," but that's when everyone gets serious.
Yes.
Serious song.
Yeah.
So like the way No Good started to dance, some people go, "Yeah," but you'll have someone going, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
You can't enjoy it in a clownish way.
Yes,
too good.
It's too serious.
But you go, fuck, man. So look, Delirium Silence featuring Sarah McLachlan, Fade Sanctuary remix, or if you want Tiesto's one. Who is your next one?
My next one would be one of my original introductions to electronic music, and it's The Shaman with Ebenezer Goode.
Oh, that's a banger. That's a fucking banger.
Mad song. Fucking mad song. The reason I know this exists is because this was on Now That's What I Call Music 92. That's how
I was going to say, this was I almost was too young for this song. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
I think we were almost too young for this because it was a club only song. It would only really be enjoyable in a club. When I heard this, I was like, I was young. I was like, it's great, but it's too fucking mental.
It's too mad. There's not enough structure in it as well. And it's talking about drugs, and nobody, like, you were that young, you didn't even know what drugs were.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard this on, I think it was either 92 or 93. Now That's What I Call Music. And I always remember I had like Status Quo. I think like fucking The Wanderer or something was on there as well. Or
Status Quo and Scooter.
Yeah, I guarantee a scooter was on it. I must have a look actually and find, because like I tried to remember what else was on there. Fucking, it would have been Dire Straits. I'm trying to remember literally off the back of my head. Maybe Jive Bunny or something. It was that definitely that like 92, 93 era of like garbage music that was put onto all those fucking Now That's What I Call Music. And I used to get Now That's What I Call Music every year. Someone bought it for me. The double cassette.
Oh yeah.
Someone always bought it.
You'd hear some bangers on it.
Fucking right. You'd always found something that you just kind of slipped through the cracks because you were young. You know what I mean? And you only knew what was on the radio at like 6 o'clock after you had
I found the Charlatans on. Yeah. No, actually, I found them on like a Shine compilation or something like that because that were one of those bands that needed to come back up again with indie. They were an 80s kind of band that were actually around the time of the Smiths and all them.
Yeah, I think this one might have had like Suede and like the Lads and stuff like that. You know? Yeah. But I remember there being a bunch of stuff in it, but this was definitely the maddest song on Now That's What I Call Music. Yeah. And afterwards, a couple of years later, I went out and bought the album Boss Drum that this was on. Yeah. And, Jesus, looking at the history of them, it's very fucking weird. So they're a Scottish group, right? And it started off with a guy called Colin Angus, Derek McKenzie, Keith McKenzie, and Peter Stevenson, right? They were like the original fucking 4 members. Now, eventually, they ended up having like 15 members in and out with this group. It kind of became like a collective. And they have very much different eras of the band. Very, very much different eras of the band. So when they started out, they were like a psychedelic band. And eventually they start getting influenced by like real early house music like S Express and Mars, if you remember Mars, MARRS.
I remember S Express.
Yeah. You'll remember Mars, you know a couple of the Mars songs. Right. Actually I'm gonna tell you now exactly what fucking Mars big songs were. Pump Up the Volume. Pump Up the Volume. Yeah, exactly. Right. They were very much kind of influenced by fucking that real early electronic kind of house music. So they started. They all played like real guitars and bass and drums, proper fucking instruments and stuff like that. And they start bringing electronic music in. And this is where it gets weird because when they were doing this, they were like well known on the real underground scene. And loads of like bands that became real big afterwards were very much influenced by the Shaman at this stage of the game, where they had real instruments and were bringing electronic music in. So bands like EMF and Jesus Jones and fucking Pop Elite itself and stuff like that, they were all getting very much fucking influenced.
I never heard if it's true or not, but I always thought, that the Prodigy were hugely influenced by the Shaman. I could be wrong. Just felt like that.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because it sounds like it could be like Keith Flint singing over dance music.
Yeah. Now,
whenever I heard the Shaman, I was like, that's Ebenezer Gould. Always reminds me of bleeding into the Prodigy.
Yeah, because it's electronic music didn't have frontmen like the way the Shaman did. They had samples. So the Shaman had like a bloke singing and rapping all the way through it, one guy. Well, loads of other electronic music at the time had just samples, cuts from other fucking songs that they kind of lifted. But so
it's called the Shaman. I always have to say the Shaman because the Shaman, and all my mates call it the Shaman.
Here, the Shaman, yeah.
I couldn't help it, even though I know that I've never heard it called that. Because if you're calling it a Shaman, it's never called. You never heard a Shaman being called a Shaman.
Shaman, yeah.
But in my head, it was like Shaman.
The Shaman, yeah. 100%.
If you knew it was, you wouldn't want to tell your mates what it really is because you get battered.
Exactly.
What?
So they started this weird touring nightclub in 1989 with Orbital, right? And what they do is they travel all over England and bits of Europe, kind of doing this weird mixed up fucking kind of lineups where they'd have like bands, like instrument bands, and then they have like DJs and electronic groups and stuff, trying to introduce people to kind of new stuff. And a load of bands and a load of electronic groups got their start off, the lads from the Shaman and Orbital doing this thing. I can't remember the name of the club. I wrote it down on another piece of paper because I thought it was important. They actually, this is a weird one as well. The first ever digital album ever released on the internet was released by the Shaman.
No way.
Yeah. They had a website called Nemeton. 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 And they were very, very early adopters of the internet. So the first ever digital single and the first ever digital LP were released on that Nemeton website. Then they developed...
It must have taken ages to download.
Forever. forever to develop the website that could fucking figure out a way of like encoding music to be played.
No one's even heard the last 2 songs because people just gave up by then. Like, no, let's listen to the first 6.
Exactly. Then they done this weird thing where they developed this piece of software called S2 translation, and this is around the time that like the human genome had been mapped properly for the first time. It was only a couple of years after it, and they released this piece of software called S2 translation that turned the human DNA sequences into music.
Fuck.
So
what do I sound like?
Yeah, that's kind of
garbage. I sound like human garbage.
Absolute dirt, yeah. So, but they actually, this piece of software, they ended up using it in some of their albums. They released a fuck ton of albums. They done like 8 albums. Their last album came out. I don't know when the fuck the last album came out actually, but they were signed to One Little Indian Records, who are
One Little
Indian, great little record label. They do loads of great re-releases, but I don't know how they do with their own kind of signed conquests, you know.
Right.
I haven't heard great stuff about that, but they do release great re-releases where they get the rights to like old records and pump out kind of deluxe versions of it. Actually, it was 1998 was their last album, 1998, and it was called UV. And apparently they were rowing with One Little Indian Records. So they were like, One Little Indian said to them, you've got one album left to give to us. So the lads were like, fuck you. And they just went into a studio, and in 7 days, they banged out a fucking album and just stick it up your hole. There you go. Bang. Off you go. At this stage, they weren't overly happy with what they were doing because Boss Drum was so big. The album with Ebenezer Goodin, that album was so big that it took them out of the underground world that they wanted to stay in. And the underground, like the underground scene that they had been performing in for years, just kind of turned their back on them. They were like, "You're too big now. You can't do this anymore." Do you know what I mean? It's not a fucking thing. And it's fucking that's kind of what fucked them. That's what fucked them in the end. They tried their absolute damnedest to kind of claw their way back.
Famous.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
They claw their way back into the fucking underground. You know what I mean? Like, we raised our head up. We done this one song. Everybody's fucking singing it because it's real catchy. But that's not really what we wanted to do. We wanted to do proper fucking hard, artistic, underground shit. And the worlds that fucking music lives in, we're like, nah, man, you don't Ebenezer good. You're mad. You can't go back. It's like Chumbawamba. You know, these like crass-esque fucking socialist, anarchist fucking mad punk band. And they do, I Get Knocked Down. It's over. Like, you can't go back. You can't go back.
For me, it was over before I started.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't go back to your anarchist roots after you release that fucking Peace in the night away. It's over.
Garbage.
It's fucking over, you know what I mean?
I'm sure Chumbawamba fans will tell you how it's ironic. I don't care. It's
they don't exist. No such thing as Chumbawamba fans. No such thing in the entire world. Not a thing. I'm telling you right now, there's some things that Bigfoot is more real than Chumbawamba fans. There are people who like that song. If
Didn't they have a load of punk followers?
No, that's what you read on the internet.
Brighton or something like that.
Listen, I've been listening to punk and hardcore and fucking poxy crust punk my entire life, and I've never met anyone ever wearing a Chumbawamba t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? Not once. Yeah. I've seen people wear like dog shit sandwich fucking t-shirts, scabies, fucking fleas and lice, tragedy, you name it. Pull it out of the bag. All the fucking bands that did the crass that these guys were fucking meant to be a bit like. I never met anybody that was into Chumbawamba. I think Chumbawamba was more of a fucking art project that just happened to be musical.
Maybe since they released that song, their fans went, we can't tell anyone we like them now because of that big AIDS song that they did.
Yeah, like that is the only thing anybody will ever remember them for. But anyway, that was fucking the Shaman. I don't know how we ended up on them motherfuckers. That's the Shaman. Like I said, the big thing was they started off as a psychedelic band using real instruments, and they always tried to keep the real instrument element of it. Apparently, every time they played, there was always like someone with a guitar, a bass, or a drum kit, as well as the keyboards and fucking.
Keep it real and underground.
Exactly. That was the Shaman. Who is your next one?
My next one is the group from England is called Binary Finery. The track is 1998 from 1998. But it's the Paul Van Dyke mix of it, and this song is just.
I know this song.
Oh fucking hell! You know that build up, that riff. Since here, like it starts out like it could be. Fuck, I don't know. It starts out like it's going to be weirder than it actually is. It's not that weird by the end of it. It's just a big riff-laden trance song. So, like, Binary Finery are a trance band from England. There's fuck all information because they're kind of a one-hit job. To be perfectly honest with you, they are and they aren't. I suppose I'm sure they like they when you're a DJ, you've got that career for your life, so you can have one hit.
Yeah,
you're still going to have a career before.
Yeah, you can tour off that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what I do know about this is this song wasn't played nearly enough as I wanted it to be in the 90s when I was growing up. Like, so I would have been sneaking into nightclubs when this was just coming out. Yeah, I would have been getting in, definitely, to a lot of places.
What year did this come out?
98. It's called 1998.
Oh, yeah. I suppose that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I would be definitely on the verge of getting into nightclubs around now when this is coming out. And they wouldn't play it nearly enough for me. And I was mad into this because this is one of the songs that you'd hear on the Euphoria compilations and go, fuck, man, that's ridiculous. So I bought the single anyway. And the single is, you know, the cover of the single, it's from the Positiva label. Do you remember that?
I do.
With so it's a blue background, a black square, and a white cross in the middle. And it's just such a basic cover, but it had everything like Toka's Miracle, Toka May, Spiller, Groove Jet, Better Off Alone by LSDJ. All those massive songs were on that. And that's like an offshoot of XL Records, I think. So the guy who left XL or started this up, Nick something, I don't know his name would be. There's no information really on Binary Furnace. It's like, yeah, there are a few lads who DJ, and they had this big hit that Paul Van Dyke remixed. And I was going to take it off and put on Moro Picado Lizard, and I was like, no, fuck, man. This is actually about the playlist as well. Yeah. And this song has to be on it as one of the ones that's not super obvious. So you, like, if you don't think you know this song,
you do. You do know this.
You do know it. So we'll probably, like, we'll release the playlist to this closer than we normally would.
Yeah.
So people can hear what we're talking about. Actually, we probably release this at the same time. This one probably can. It's other ones with the stories that I kind of get worried about.
Maybe we'll release the podcast Monday morning and the playlist Monday evening or something.
We think so, yeah. Just so you can hear this song. This song always reminds me of that. Like, this song actually would have been an influence on the way I write synthwave and all that shit that I did, whatever like that.
Speaking of synthwave, I tried to watch that fucking Blood Machines.
I'm going to give it a go this week. Don't tell me anything about it.
No, I couldn't. You're going to have to download it or sign up for a Shudder, that streaming service. It's in like multiple different parts, and some parts are an hour long and some parts are 10 minutes long. It's fucking.
What do you mean? Is that just a film?
No. It's like a serialized movie. I don't know how to describe it. It's fucking.
I know that like he did. The guy that made that the video for Carpenter Brut's Turbo Killer. So
Carpenter Brut done the whole soundtrack for the whole thing.
It is right.
The movie is, from what it just looks like, an hour and a bit long music videos. Yeah, that's all it is really.
That's grand.
That's grand.
But at the same time, I suppose if I can, I don't know. I have plans for a music video when I release my stuff, and I found a deadly way to do it. I'm not going to tell anyone because it's fucking cheating. But it's the only thing I can do in I have to spend a bit of money, but it's a way of doing it that could be in COVID land where you're not allowed to go out and in public and make videos and meet people and stuff like that. As well as that, I fucking don't like the idea of making music videos or starring in them or anything like that.
No, it has to be something weird.
So that is nothing to do with that anyway. Yeah. Look, you have to listen to this. I can't explain it because there's no like hook in it that's vocals. It's all instrumental. But that riff that comes up, that builds up, it's just pure, dirty, commercial trance. And it's deadly. And I fucking love it. Who is your next one?
My next one is the Urban Cookie Collective with The Key, The Secret.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good, yeah, from 1993. Now, this is the one that I have the least amount of information on. This is a very... Like you were saying, a lot of these songs are, we would consider them maybe to be one-hit wonders, but they're not. They're just the moment.
They have huge careers, and not just they were there in clubs.
Like a lot of these people are still working. Like they're still doing stuff, you know, whether it be DJing or producing, but they're not dishing out bangers.
Those people are more well equipped to have a one-hit wonder and take it and enjoy it.
Yes,
go much. To Ibiza, play the shit out of it, and then not get bitter or embarrassing.
Yes,
and try and grab onto that afterwards.
Exactly.
They know that. I could get a song, I could get a remix, it could land on a film.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, I'm still got a career. I love that.
Fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Urban Cookie Collective it's kind of one fella. It's kind of one fella, a guy called Rowan Heath. Rowan Heath. So Manchester guy, kind of started off just a DJ in the clubs or whatever. And he joined forces with a guy called Gerald Simpson, who had a group, kind of a collective called A Guy Called Gerald. And he was an original member of 808 State.
Right.
Who I wanted to put on this, but I don't know whether, because I love 808 State, but I don't know whether it's kind of dance me. I don't know what you call it. 808 State we talked about them before. They were one of those groups that people who were into like the Happy Mondays and the Charlatans, even though they were completely electronic, they still fit into that.
Yeah. Well, there's artists on this that we didn't know whether they were going to be. Like Snap, probably could be considered a little bit more of a career, maybe. Yeah,
maybe. Especially because they whatever split up and went like 3 different Snaps down the round.
Prodigy are monsters. So we didn't know they're still dance songs.
Exactly.
At the time.
Exactly.
So I went to this as in, if it was the 90s, would I consider this a dance song? Yes. Obviously, now looking back, that's what made it hard for me to do this playlist. I even messaged you going, should I put this certain song on? And you're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be my next one, actually, that I talk about.
Yeah.
So, I know what you're talking about, that some of them went on to have a different meaning and definitely lasted.
Like this song was fucking huge. It's a big, big song.
Absolutely.
It's still a fucking banger. It's an outrageous song. But, I mean, they released a few bits and bobs, but So he done this thing, a guy called Gerald, and they done a Japanese tour with the Happy Mondays. And after that, he wasn't really into fucking working with this guy, Gerald Simpson.
I'd say he was burnt out.
I think so.
Mondays, I'd say he was fucking in bits.
So he joined a group, a rave group called Together.
Right.
And he was with Together for a year or two, kind of touring with them, making music with them. And he knocked that in the head. And then he started producing music. He started doing reggae stuff with Ika Mouse. Ika Mouse is like a big fucking reggae guy. And he started producing music for him. And it was around this time, he was like, maybe I'll just do my own music as opposed to like being in other people's groups. Like I have all the experience. I know how these like famous people are writing music and making music. Maybe I'll just fucking do my own thing. And that's where the Urban Cookie Collective came from. The vocals in this by a woman called Diane Charlemagne, who died a couple of years ago.
Really?
Diane Charlemagne died, I think 2018, 2017 maybe. And the album was called High on a Happy Vibe. And I couldn't tell you one single song on that album. I couldn't tell you one single song that Urban Cookie Collective ever released, bar this one. And that's been brutally honest.
Yeah. I mean, if I really sat down, I think they have another. But you know what? The fact that it's not coming to me straight away says it all.
Like I'd have to drain the swamp of my fucking brain to find a song title that maybe I heard once. Like, that's literally all I have to. This is very much about that song. It's not about
I knew this was going to happen with this playlist. Same with 1998 by Binary Refinery. I knew. I thought there might be something like one of them was in some more juice. But to be honest with you, sometimes we still are making playlists that have to be listened to as playlists.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I refuse to take that song out in the same as some the info. Sometimes the juice is there. Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's not. Yeah. Sometimes they just give you the basic details about the song, but the song has to stand on the tone. Who is your next one?
Oh, this is a monster. Monster. This is a monster kind of hybrid thing that I haven't heard the likes of before, during, or since. Well, I did hear it during. That makes no sense. I didn't hear the likes of it during it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it while it was playing. This is Born Slippy by Underworld.
Monster song.
1995. It's actually called Born Slippy Nooks because Born Slippy is a different song by the same band.
Oh, weird.
Weird. Confusing, yeah. Look, everybody I know loves this song. I don't know anyone that doesn't like this song.
Yeah.
It's obviously made famous by Trainspotting. The song at the end of Trainspotting.
That's all I remember.
I have the lyrics there.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to read them out later. So Underworld always had, to me, a more indie feel because there was vocals and they seemed to be singing something. I didn't know what the fuck they were singing. Looking back now, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they always reminded me like Orbital with like a singer, like a pure singer.
Yeah, like when the beat comes in to Born Slippy, when it finally, like, because the intro chorus are gorgeous. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And he's doing this distorted, sounds very Londonish kind of
geezer fucking voice.
Geezer voice singing random fucking words. And then when the beat kicks in, the whole tone of the song changes completely to something more aggressive but dancier. And people used to lose their fucking mind to this song.
Yeah, it was big. It was big.
Like Binary Refinery, this was really out when I was... So this was just before I was getting into clubs, but it was when we were having stuff like end of year school dances where you could definitely turn up or bring drink in and stuff like that. Whatever.
Hiding in bushes, milling bottles of cider out of it.
Exactly. So this was one of the first songs I remember dancing to while I was definitely either like
smashed up,
high on hash, because there's no weed then.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
No.
Sorry. You heard about it. You heard stories about the mate that went to Amsterdam. His brother went to Amsterdam. But there wasn't. It was hash.
He brought some back in his shoe. He cut a hole in his shoe and brought back a lump of hash.
I know people who went there as a school trip, and what they did was they put it in a plastic bag and then they put it inside a shampoo bottle.
I know people who just mailed it to themselves.
Yeah, that's clever, you see.
They just literally got big bricks of hash for next to nothing and put it in envelopes, not even boxes, envelopes. And they heat it up by sitting on it, and then they kind of squish it down until it was real thin, and it filled the envelope. And they'd mail it to themselves. They wouldn't mail it to themselves. There was in my year there was a famous house. Right, this is mental. There was a famous house that nobody lived in, but you could get into it by jumping over the back wall. So everybody who had mad shit, they would mail it to this abandoned house. Yeah. That didn't really look abandoned, but you could jump over the back wall, go in, and collect your post. So lads used to.
That's so clever. Yeah. Well, unless someone actually does live there.
No one ever lived there. We used to get you used to be able to mail order like tiger knives and butterfly knives and shit, and you'd mail them to yourself to this house, and then jump over the back wall and walk in and collect your letters like a week later.
That's savage.
Yeah.
So did you know that Underworld are Welsh?
Fuck off, really?
Yeah. And did you know, second crazy fact, there used to be a funky synth pop band.
Really?
In the 80s.
Mad.
Now, they don't consider that to be them, obviously, anymore. There's so many member changes that's changed. But you don't drop a name like Underworld. That's how you don't change your name.
Yes.
You don't drop that name. That's too good to drop. Underworld? You're mad.
Great name.
Fucking murder for that name.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with names. You probably are. You told us what name for your project was. Really, really good name. Empires or Empire?
Empire. Yeah, Empire, yeah.
I'm sort of on the fence, but right now I'd kill someone for the name Underworld right now.
Just take it.
So I can understand.
Spell it with two V's.
No, I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah. Underworld.
I know an Irish band that does it, All Twins or whatever, and they do, and it looks cool that they do, and they're good enough. No. So look, I listened to the stuff over the last couple of days, the synth pop stuff. It's not great. It's not like when I went back and found Ministries in the pop stuff, which is actually still, I don't care what anyone says, it's fucking deadly. This is really cheesy kind of funky stuff. But they were a bit late with that music, because that music had been going from 79 and they were coming in at 88 with it. It's too late for funky, cheesy synth pop. But they were well on the button when they changed in 1994 when your man Darren Emerson joined, and they became, so he's like an English DJ producer, and that's when they became much more dance focused and experimental and kind of progressive dance. And then 2 years after that, they have this monster hit. Like, just, it's so fucking big.
It's huge.
It was everywhere.
Inescapable.
It was.
But it was also cool. It wasn't like for
no, it was same fans of
consumption.
As far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
very much.
But also, I know, like, older people would be like, so the lyrics are, Jesus, drive boy, dog boy, dirty numb angel boy, in the doorway boy, she was a lipstick boy, she was a beautiful boy, and tears boy, and all in your inner space boy. You had hands girl boy and steel boy. You had chemicals boy. I've grown so close to you. That's the only line I know. That sound, I know the sound of growing so close to you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Boy, and you just grown, boy. She said, come over. He smiled at you, boy. No, I don't know what the fuck Carl Hind is talking about there. He's the singer. He said, we were just, he wrote down a load of shit. Just sang it.
Probably wrote it on a McDonald's napkin on the way to the studio.
Well, it had been noted that he was a mad raging alcoholic at the time, so it probably fucking made loads of sense. I don't know.
Telling a story in his head, like,
come here
to me,
Well, it's perfect because you're thinking, oh man, like there's going to be loads of fucking these little Muppet techno gurus sitting down at after parties going, oh man, actually no, if you think about what this is about, mate, stop. You can let the singer tell you what it's about, or you can just guess, but don't be telling me what you know this is about.
Exactly, yeah. I know a fella who knows a fella who sold him a dog, and he told me it's about the time he snuck onto a rocket, right? And the rocket didn't go. Exactly. The usual shite. Yeah,
exactly. So this always felt, there's nothing really else like this song. I can't think of a song that's really like this.
No.
I mean, it does come from the vein of Ebenezer Good and anything with Keith Flint of The Prodigy. But at the same time, or Happy Mondays, it does have a Happy Monday, Black Grape sort of feel as
like
well.
It's band leader led, like it's singer led, which we already said is a rarity in this. Like, you know, you've got your poppy ones, you know, everybody's free to feel good, whatever. You've got that type of shit, you know. This is the rhythm of the night. You've got those, but they're like kind of classically kind of poppy dance songs. This is not a classically poppy dance song. This is something different. And it has a fucking singer.
No, I love it. Look, I think everyone loves this song. I don't really know anyone. Like when you stick this on, everyone goes, ah. Yeah. But that's a difference. That's a difference to the kind of, like, let's say you stuck on, going through the list, Rhythm is a Dancer. Those people go, and they go a bit mad and clownish.
Yeah.
You stick on Delirium Silence, they go, oh.
Yeah.
But you stick this on, it's like, ah. So there's all these, we know as DJs, there's these facial and audio expressions people give different songs.
The winces. Yeah, the winces. Like, ooh, haven't heard that in years. Ooh.
You know what, as well, like if you stick on Tainted Love by Soft Cell, you get this, they put their lip, they purse their top lip and they push it into their nose and they kind of like they're smelling a good smell.
Delicious.
But if you put on Cotton Eye Joe, you get that.
Do you remember?
Like,
Skill disco music.
So many different reactions.
Yeah.
And then you get that like if you put on Sabotage by Beastie Boys, you get that, fuck yeah.
Everybody starts nodding. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's like this is the one that gives you the It's not quite the Delirium Silence, or the Rhythm is a Dancer. It's crazy. It just has that. So that is Born Slippy Nooks, which is the correct title.
Born Slippy Nooks, yeah. I never knew about the Nooks part of it.
Well, it's because on Trainspotting they named it wrong. They just called it Born Slippy. I'd say someone was writing that goes, take out that Nooks, not realising that Born Slippy is already a song by them. That's a different thing. It's a B-side, actually. So who's your next one?
My next one is the one that has the maddest story in this list for me anyway, and it's Black Box with Ride on Time from 1990.
Oh, Jesus, this is fucking murderous.
Yeah. So
ridiculous.
All right. This is fucking mad. So Black Box started off as a production team, and they went under loads of different names. They had like a Starlight Invention Crew, then just Starlight, then Mix Master, and then eventually Black Box. But they were kind of writing music and producing music for loads of people. They're an Italian group. Daniel Danoli.
Really? Italian?
Italian, yeah. Daniel Davoli, Valerio Semplici, and Mirko Limoni were the three guys involved in it. Now, this is very fucking weird. When they came up with Black Box, fucking hell, it's mad. They came up with the idea for Black Box. They wanted it to be kind of, how do I even describe this? They kind of handcrafted an image of what Black Box was, right? So they approached a French fashion model called Catherine Quinol and said, listen, we want you to be on the cover of the album and we want you to be like the face of the band. And she was like, but I can't sing. And they were like, don't worry about that. That's grand. Don't worry. So they went off and they recruited a couple of different singers one main singer in particular that I'm going to get to now in a second.
Right.
And they went in and they recorded basically what they said were demos, right? There's the police.
Ooh.
The Busies, that's 2 or 3 cops going by, yeah. They recruited a couple of different singers to kind of do demos for an album. And they paid people fuck all money. They were like, there's 150 quid a song or whatever. Right. Demos, don't worry about it. And eventually they went off and they used those demo cuts on the album and released it and made a fucking fortune.
Okay.
Now, in 1991, Catherine Quinall leaves, right? So she's only been in the group for a year, right? Fronting them, doing gigs, lip syncing, all this type of shit, right?
Yeah. Like, you have to remember that the people who are behind this, DJ-wise and organising now, they're the ones that will always be in a job. But the amount of these people, like Snap, for instance, they'll replace like a revolving door.
Oh, big time.
And like, I know it sounds crazy, but you just get someone that looks like that singer. If it's a skinny white girl with short blonde hair,
big time.
Get another one like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. If it's a black girl with curly hair, just make sure you get a black girl with curly hair that looks like that. And it's crazy because it's just you just like someone could go to another country and you wouldn't know because at the time you don't know. Now we know all the names and we know the histories because we've got Wikipedia and stuff.
Exactly. Back then it was all just
magazines.
Hearsay.
Now we just go, well, that's the band that are playing, so therefore that's the one I know.
Exactly.
So they always match them, with.
Exactly. So it turns out that the singer they used on this song in particular, and for like 6 or 7 other songs on this album, was a woman called Martha Walsh, who was in a group called Tons of Fun, 2 Tons of Fun. 2 Tons of Fun changed their name, and they were the Weather Girls. It's raining. Yeah, it's raining men. Martha Walsh was the main vocalist, and it's raining men. Hallelujah.
By the way, It's Raining Men is an absolutely underrated song.
Killer song. Killer.
But like I know when I say underrated, I mean like I know it's massively rated. It's huge. Yeah. Everyone loves it as a fun. But listen to the composition of It's Raining Men. It's fucking murderously good. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I would say so good.
So good. Yeah. So that was Martha Walsh singing Right on Time. So the song everybody knows is fucking Right on Time. Yeah. Now, she caught wind of this in 1990 when the song came out.
Because she's a weather girl.
Because she's in the fucking Weather Girls, right? So she'd recorded this demo like a fucking couple of years beforehand. And she heard it and she was like, that's me singing. And I only got paid 150 fucking quid for it. Yeah. So it brought the court, sued into fucking oblivion. Yeah. Now, she sued them.
It's raining lawyers.
Yeah. She sued them and then fucking... what's her name? Lolietta fucking Holloway sued them as well for using samples. I think she got on the blower.
Lolietta, check this out, man. I just got all this. You should do the same.
You should do the same. But it turns out they'd use a sample. Man. They'd use a sample from Love Sensation without fucking clearing it as well.
Oh, so hit from this. Oh, you don't.
These lads were getting fucking pigged out of it. Right now, here's where it gets even double interesting. So in the fucking midst of all this fucking madness that's going on, right? They're like, we have to fucking. This song is huge, but every time it gets played, we're getting fucking reefed out of it by Martha Walsh. So they'd already come to a settlement with Lolietta Holloway. So giving her a few quid. They were in the middle of dealing with this Martha Walsh thing. So they went back into the recording studio and they re-recorded the vocals with a little known singer called Heather Small. He was the singer from M People.
They re-recorded Right on Time. Not Right on Time. Right on Time with her.
Right on Time with Heather Small from M People, yeah. This just before M People were fucking huge. She was just a session musician or whatever. So they re-recorded with her and re-released it. And it was still doing fucking big business. But people were like, that sounds a bit different. I don't know about this.
Cause you're right on time instead of cause you're right on. No, Like, I'm sorry, like Heather Small is probably a lovely woman. Don't like her voice. Yeah. And that's fine. I'm sure she'll live with my assessment of her voice. She'll live with that.
Now it's all being kind of half sorted, and just both versions of the songs are doing the rounds. As the Martha Walsh version and the Heather Small version. Yeah. So she's Martha sued them in 1990, and she ended up by the end of 1990 she'd made a fucking shit ton of money off them. This case ended up creating a worldwide music legislation about vocal credits.
No way!
Like it literally changed the law. and the law now states that, like, no matter how small somebody's contribution is, they have to be credited on it. Now, they can forgo royalties. They can sign something saying you're not getting any royalties. But if they sang on it, or if they fucking drop the pen in the recording and it's on the recording, they have to get a credit for some sort of extra musician fucking credit or whatever. But yeah, that changed the music law around the world, this case. It was fucking, it literally broke the music world apart, because these lads were lying left, right and centre. Like, oh, it's a demo getting released.
Yeah.
She didn't sing it.
They were making a shit ton of money on it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then
I'm kind of glad they got caught.
Oh, 100%. Then they Milli Vanilli'd themselves by having a fucking fashion model lip sync for an entire year before people copped it. And then people people realised it wasn't even her singing the original one in the first place. Completely different fucking woman. So it was really, really fucking interesting what they done. It was fucking mad. Yeah. But that was Black Box with Right on Time, which I always thought was right on time.
You'll always get the true story out of a black box.
You will.
You'll get the exact info you need.
But only after it goes down in flames. Who was your next one?
This is my last one, so I've picked an important song as well. We've picked a very good playlist. I know it might seem to some people quite obvious, some of the stuff we picked, but like, we had to pick this. So I'm finishing with Insomnia by Faithless, because it's from 1996, because it's just another one of those songs I heard and went, what the fuck is this? This is insane. And I remember the first time you heard this, and it sounds like it could be, this song could be The Prodigy or Massive Attack at the start. Yeah, it's like a combo of the two. It's the way it always felt to me. Yeah. So it's got Sister Bliss and Rolo, whose sister is actually Dido. His sister is Dido. And Maxi Jazz, who's the vocalist. He was ancient even back then. Yeah. So you hear him singing and you're like, okay, those vocals are kind of cool, and it's really fit really well. It's really dark, and it's almost like I won't say industrial, but it has that bleak fucking outlook because it's a song about insomnia. It's actually really invokes the feeling of just repetitive sort of brain half awake kind of thing. And it's going along and it's like deep do deep do, and the beats are great, and his vocals, and like I said, even the lyrics are fine. Vocals are great, but then in the middle of it, when it stops, I can't get no sleep, and then it cuts to that synth riff. I remember the first time I heard that, I fucking shot myself. I was like, that's disgustingly good. It's so good. That's Prodigy.
No, that's
very similar.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I'm too far away from the mic.
Yeah.
I'm leaning forward, so I'm not getting smoke in my eyes.
It's just like
so good. Yeah, I remember
it has that is one of the best bits in any dance song ever, and it probably is slightly influenced by Prodigy. No good, because it has a touch of that going on there.
Yeah,
but oh my god! Like the first time I heard that, and I've still never really been a massive Faithless fan.
Yeah, like I remember like fucking. Was it God as a DJ?
God as a DJ. They had another great song called "We Come One."
Yeah,
they're more of an actual like album band. They're a serious thing, like the Prodigy or Massive Attack. They were like career.
Yes, they were in it to win it. Like,
they're in it, absolutely in it from the mid 90s onwards. They were absolutely going to do it. So I saw them live in 2001, and then again a few years later, and they were that good live. They're not really together anymore. They're not together anymore. So they retired.
He released his own album, didn't he?
Yeah. They've all been doing their own thing. Well, Sherman Rolo did Dido's first album. How many did that sell? Like
bajillions.
A disgusting amount.
Yeah, bajillions.
She bounced off Eminem.
Yeah, that's right.
With Stan and stuff. Yeah. So
she got a big boost off that, like big boost.
I don't think she has a very good voice.
It's weak. It's
there
weak.
Will be no white flag above my head. Probably if she writes all them hooks, then she's a great hook writer.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like as well as like, you don't need to have a powerful voice to have a good voice. I just always found her voice a bit. But like anyway, aside from that, did you know that Maxi Jazz races cars in his spare time.
Not anymore. He must be 90.
In 2011, he became a director at Crystal Palace Football Club, his lifelong club.
Well, that's he can't race cars anymore. That's why.
I don't know. Maybe he can.
He has to be 100
professionally. He never did it. I don't think he did it professionally. Just
not like Vanilla Ice, like
not like Vanilla Ice or your man from Boyzone, Shane Lynch.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I'm going to leave it there because Insomnia is like everyone knows it. They're already listening to it in their head. It's like Insomnia, please release me. It's fucking. I think it's great. Like I think the lyrics are great. I remember thinking like, this is something a little bit more like the first time I heard Born Slippy. I thought this is a little bit different when you have a song built around a dance hit. Like there's an entire song. They did like if they didn't go into the it could still be a good song.
He's 60. He's 63.
63.
Yeah,
he's old. He's old.
He's pretty old. He was out. I always remember him like because that was what 20 odd years ago. So fucking 25 years ago, something like that. So yeah, he was, and he fucking looked old back then as well. He's fucking younger than me when that came out. And Jesus Christ, he looked older than me. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he'd been through. He had a band called fucking Soul.
Yeah, I think he played guitar in a band for years. Yeah,
and they were doing the rounds with like DJs and stuff like that as well. So he was. That's
obviously heavily involved in that scene. Like,
yeah. So I think that's where he met Rollo, and that's when they decided to go. Let's do this Fateless thing, and it's such a unique. Like, if you look at that band, right, you got this older looking black lad, this kind of girl with short blonde hair, and then this kind of small dude with, I think he had curly, he's bald now, but he was like curly, like black hair. Like, if you were to look at that band and not know the music, you would never guess what they were. Yeah. It's such a unique looking band. Not that the looks mattered at all, but I think it did intrigue people.
Oh, very much.
I do think a selection of characters that look like they don't quite go together went together well.
A group has to have like mad cohesion. It has to be like Ghost or something where like it's a theme, or it has to be just a mad fucked up like coupling, like a grouping of madness. Like,
because before that, Fateless looked like people being interviewed on the street.
Yes.
So how do you feel about Brexit and stuff like that? But they're not. They're a band.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're all together, and they're fucking brilliant. Like, they're really... They're another album band. Like,
yeah, so, big time. Big time.
Reverence, I think, is the name. Because your man is quite religious. Maxi Chaz is quite religious. First album was Reverence. Reverence. And the second one was Sunday, 8 p.m. Do you remember that?
Remember that.
The album cover with the Bluebird sign.
Yeah.
In America and stuff like that. I remember that. That's great as well. This is just... They're a band. They're a songs band, but they're also a dance band. So that's Insomnia. Who is your next one?
Last one. Last one is a big one. Is Robert Miles with Children.
Oh, stop!
Yeah,
so good. It's so good.
Yep. So this song came out in 1995. Robert died in 2017.
That's right, yeah.
So he's a Swiss-born Italian musician and composer.
Swiss-Italian?
Yeah, Swiss-Italian. He was more of a composer than a fucking kind of dance guy. I think he done a little bit of everything. This song sold 5 million copies. It was fucking huge.
Holy shit.
So when he was younger, in Italy, he worked as a DJ he wanted to open his own recording studio, and he made enough money DJing to open up his own recording studio, and he ended up opening up a pirate radio station as well, in the mid-90s. While Children was huge, he had a pirate radio station. This album was Dreamland. This was a huge album. Everybody bought this fucking album as well off the back of this single.
There's a few decent songs on it as well, if I remember.
There is, yeah. And again, it's not all... He had a weird particular style because he played loads of different instruments. He learned how to play piano from a very young age.
But that's what I'm saying. You can tell that, like, a lot of people like had a little bit of a synth riff or a piano riff. You can tell that he could play piano just based on Children. He
was a musician. You know, he wasn't just gluing samples together and throwing beats behind them. He was a fucking musician. He was a composer. The song. Okay, right. There's a couple of weird things about this fucking song. Fact number one is that it cost £150 to record. That's it.
£150.
Yeah.
So he just went in and probably how does a DJ? Not a DJ. Well, he was a DJ, but how does a DJ producer attack it a different way. He probably just went in and went, maybe the 150 quid was just to mix it. Maybe he wrote it all on a
would have been, I'd say, if he
handed it in.
Because there's piano on it, he probably wanted like a good grand piano with good microphones and that type of shit. I'd say he had most of it worked out at home. He just wanted to get all the stuff kind of cut himself.
Oh yeah, he could have went to the studio and absolutely banged that out in a day for 150 quid. Yeah.
Exactly. So 150 quid is what it cost. This song kind of got famous off the back of a bidding war from being played on Pete Tong's show. So Pete Tong in the UK used to do this thing where every week he'd like pick his like pick of the week, and it was usually an up and coming song or an underground song, and he picked this song like 3 weeks in a row, and fucking everybody went mad, and it started this big bidding war with all these different record labels that wanted to sign Robert Miles. And eventually he got picked up by one label and jumped to another one. And he was kind of known beforehand, but this would have been his big break into the mainstream, because Children was a huge fucking song.
Yeah.
Now, this is fucking mad, because the reason he wrote this song, there was a big thing that was happening in the 90s where lads were driving to raves out in the middle of nowhere. Right. So you had clubs and cities, but then you had like warehouse raves and fucking farmhouse raves and all this kind of shit. And because raves wasn't a drinking culture, it was more of a pill culture. People were going to the raves, driving out and just bringing like fucking 8 litres of water with them and a bag of pills, and taking a load of pills, drinking the water. And then when it was over the next morning, they'd jump in their car and they'd fuck off. They'd drive home.
Yeah.
So there was this big movement that started in the 90s for DJs, their last song or two, to be real chilled out, to stop people being aggravated when they get into their car driving fast and dying.
Right,
there was people dying all the time coming home from raves because they were fucking amped out of their mind. They'd been fucking hopping around like lunatics all night at raves, and then they get in their car and full on Colin McRae rally fucking home. Full on, right? So there was this movement that started, and it was started off the back of this song, Children. He designed, because he was DJing himself and he was writing his own music and throwing it into his sets, and he designed Children, because it's a little bit longer. It's like 5-6 minutes long. I think there might be like an 8-minute version cut of it as well. That this was designed to be his last song in his set, so people would just fucking chill out and start kind of recognizing their surroundings and fucking coming back down to earth. So when they did get in their car,
and that's why, is that why the video has like, you're in a car. It's in a car and it's going by and they're just looking out like all calm and peace. Fucking, that's crazy.
So that's what the basis of the song was, just to chill people the fuck out and get them home in one piece. So he died in Ibiza in May 2017. It was stage 4 metastatic cancer that he'd been kind of dealing with for a long time. He was running an FM and an online radio station out there, and it was shut down for a couple of months, and people loved his radio station. They fucking loved it. So everybody was like, is it going to come back? Is it going to fucking he was going to take it over? And we had a couple of mates out there as well that took it over. Apparently it's still running to this day. He released 5 albums, and it was literally everything from like dance music to jazz. He done soundtracks, soundtrack to like The Born Identity. He done a bunch of soundtracks as well. But yeah, it was that fucking, there's a bit of meat in that song, but especially with the fucking sending people home fucking calm, and the fact that it only cost 150 quid and sold 5 million copies is fucking mental. But yeah, that's my last one. That's Robert Miles with Children. I remember hearing that first time and it's just so relaxing.
Do you know what? There's very few songs I think you can play 3 single notes and someone wouldn't know what that song was. But that do, they would know exactly what song you were playing.
Someone came out around the time the song was about some mate of his, some other fucking DJ, and said that like that little fucking riff, that fucking do, said that was his, and that he gave permission for Robert to use it, and Robert never denied it. So I don't know, something fucking weird where that might not have been his own composition. Like he obviously composed everything else, but that fucking do fucking riff was someone else's. But that could have been a cat play that walking across the piano. You know what I mean? You're talking cat be able to do the vocals and everything, man.
Meow meow meow.
Yeah, meow meow
meow
meow
meow meow meow.
That was Robert Miles' Children, and that was the end of this week's 90s dance podcast.
Yes. It might seem quite obvious to some, but to be honest with you, you know for a fact that when you listen to this playlist, you're going to be like, yep.
Yeah,
it's good shit.
Big one.
90s dance was a huge part of my childhood. Like, well, I say childhood, it's grown. My formative years.
Yeah.
Growing up between like 13 and 17.
Yeah, pre-ball hair and ball hair.
I loved it, and I still love this music. Like, people like go, "You're into metal," and all. I'm like, I'm actually more into 80s and dance than I would be into metal. I do like metal, of course, but I'm not one of those full simpletons that can only listen to metal.
Yeah,
I just like
silly.
metal,
Yeah.
just riffs. Anything else, if you have a melody in it, it's like a penis going into you. Like, no, it's not.
It's
well,
just
maybe
music.
it is.
It's all
Whatever.
just fucking music. Like, nonsense.
Jesus Christ.
To divide it up like that.
Yeah.
Good is fucking good. It's that bleeding simple. Like,
that's why I can listen to Opeth and I can listen to Robert Miles' Children in the same session.
Exactly.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't see.
It's literally just music. Fucking leave it be. Like,
it's like films. Like, do you only watch documentaries, or do you only watch films about the fish farming crisis? What the fuck? Like, what's the point? You only watch films from the director Yui Ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you only do one thing? Like, film. Oh no, I watch any kind of film. Well, listen to any kind of music. Anyway, that's my point. That there was a mix between rockers and the ravers around the 90s.
There definitely was. That's us for this week. We'll be back next week. If you're listening to this, hopefully you heard us on Saturday Night Gone, which was our 1 year anniversary, our birthday party.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, a whole fucking year. Madness. I'm sure we'll be talking about it on Saturday night. This is weird because we're talking about it before Saturday night happens, but you're hearing it after
the world could explode. You might even not get to do it.
Fingers. Well, I'm going to upload it now, so the aliens will, if they're subscribed to the podcast, the aliens will most certainly hear it.
Speaking of people who are subscribed to the podcast, and the ones that are that are signed up to Patreon, we really appreciate it, because you don't, whatever about what you get from Patreon, you are making this weekly one and the radio show happen, basically. Without you, we couldn't do the free one or the radio show.
No way.
We really appreciate it. And if you think that maybe now you're in a position that you could sign up to Patreon and help us out, it's not just another random one that we go, oh, there's another $5,000. Everything helps, and everything pushes it a little forward, a little bit more. So
shit is expensive, yo. It's fucking expensive.
It is. And we have a website on the way, don't we?
Yeah, website's up now. Website is live. Yeah, lostartpodcast.com. We got lucky. We were able to get the actual fucking, it's not like Lost Art -pod -cast dot fucking Trinidad and Tobago / fucking .net. Like, it's, you know, GeoCities.
.cz.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that little squiggly?
The tilde.
Tilde.
Yeah.
You know what?
If we don't have any.
Start a site that's just like that tilde symbol.
Tilde hashtag
Swinton.
Yeah.
TildeSwinton.com with just the tilde as her name.
It could be just tilde. I think it's tilde. I'm not totally sure.
I love Tilda Swinton. I'd watch her in anything. Well, anything I'd watch her in.
I don't think you can have characters like that in website addresses.
I think you should have her playing David Bowie. Tilda Swinton playing David Bowie.
True. She'd do the job, wouldn't she?
Ziggy played guitar. Deadly, do it.
Anyway, that's us for this week. We will be back next week with some more delicious podcast juice for y'all. See you then.
See you.